All right, welcome back to lesson 14. We're going to go ahead and keep working on the exercise of workbook 14A, where we're dealing with the weak verbs of the cow perfect stem. And let's go ahead and do some translation here and get into this translation homework here. And I hope you've had a chance to go through the paradigms on your the weak verbs and the doubly weak verbs, and also on the biconsonantals and the geminate roots too. But we'll get into that in the next session here. I'm going to read and pronunciate, then we'll translate, and then I'll parse any of the verbs and give any grammar rules in the sentences here too. All right, we have Alu ha'anashim el ha'ir hagedolah. The men went up to the great city. Men is the subject here. Remember the Hebrew word order. You got verb first and subject if there's an express subject, and then you have the direct object or object of the verb here. So the men, ha'anashim, alu. Alu is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third common plural from Allah, to go up. It's one of those third hay verbs. The hay drops out here. And ha'anashim is the subject here. It's masculine plural, absolute noun. And ha'ir hagedolah is an attributive adjective. It agrees with ha'ir in gender, number, and definiteness. So the men went up to the great city. Number 2 is avartim et mitzvot haTorah. We would translate this as you transgress the commandment of the law, or the commandments of the law. Here, and so avartim is, we would parse it as a cow stem, perfect conjugation, second masculine plural from avar, to cross over or to transgress. Mitzvot is feminine plural, construct, noun, and then you have haTorah, which is the command, the law. This has a definite article in here. Number 3, we go into achelu ha'ish v'ha'isha et ha'peri. Achelu ha'ish v'ha'isha et ha'peri. We would translate this as both. We have to pick up the subject. There are express subjects here. Ha'ish, the man, v'isha, v'ha'isha, and the woman. Achelu, they ate, et ha'peri, the fruit. Achelu is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third common plural from akal. And of course, it's got your first olive. It's one of your first olive verbs right here. In here. So this is a weak verb. Achelu, they ate. This is pretty straightforward here. Here's your et is your direct object marker, your definite direct object marker, and you can see ha'peri has a definite article on it. Ha'peri on there. So that's what we have for number 3. Number 4 is halecha ha'isha el ha'hechal. Halecha ha'isha el ha'hechal. Basically, we would translate this in English as the woman. Here's the subject, the woman. You got the comments hey ending here. Shows you that that's feminine. So we need the verb to be in, since there's an express subject, we need the verb to be in the third person, and it needs to be feminine singular also. So we have ha-lecha, which is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third feminine singular verb from halak, to walk. So the woman walked to the temple or went to the temple. Either one would be correct. Number 5, we have shamata et mitzvot hamelech. Number 5, the verb shamata here, we would translate this as you obeyed the commandment, or commandments, since it's mitzvot. the commandments of the king. Shamarta is cow stem. Perfect conjugation, second masculine singular. The tav in the comments shows us that it's second masculine singular. You obeyed the commandments of the king. And mitzvot is actually in construct. It's a feminine plural. It can be, the oat can be either feminine plural absolute or feminine plural construct. So it could be either one. So, but in this case, since you have two nouns right side by side with nothing dividing it, this is, the context is telling you that this is a construct noun, a feminine plural construct noun, mitzvot, the commandments of the king. All right, number 6, we have Yatsanu min ha'ir ha-resha'a. Yatsanu min ha'ir ha-resha'a. All right, we would translate this as that we went out from the evil city. Yatsanu, we look at the noon, and the shirk. It tells us that's the formative. It tells us that it's first common plural, we, comes from the root yasa, to go out, or went out. And then we have the preposition min, ha'ir, ha-resha'a, which is an attributive adjective. It agrees with ha'ir in gender, number, and definiteness. So ratsa'anu is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, first common plural from yatsa, to go out or went forth. Number 7 is baneta. Oh, going back to number 6, this is a first yod verb too. So you have a first yod here in yatsa, and you have a third aleph here. So it's both the doubly weak here. Number 7 is banetha hamaka hechal gadol. We would translate this. We have the hamalka, which is a subject here. The comments say this is feminine singular. So the verb needs to be third. Since we have an express subject here, the subject or the verb normally is a third person here when it's making a statement. So, well, it's masculine and feminine, but this is feminine here. Malka is feminine, so the verb must be feminine singular because Malka is feminine singular. So this needs to be third person feminine singular. So this is banatha. Remember, in the third hey verb, this is the third hey verb. In the third hey verbs, in the third feminine singular, the hey drops off, the tav takes its place, and you have a comments hey ending, showing that that is third feminine singular. So the queen built a great city. A great temple here. The queen built a great temple. This is not the great temple, but a great, because there's no definite article on Hekal here. So this is indefinite. And Gadol is an attributive adjective which agrees with Hekal in gender, number, and in this case, indefiniteness. Here, a great temple. Number 8 is Chatat, Chatot, Chatachot, Rabot, Lifnei Adonai. We have here, here is this is a third aleph here. Remember, the third aleph is the lanes drop out here, and so what we're stating here is this is a cow stem, second feminine singular verb from chatat, and so basically you sinned many sins before the Lord. So we know that the subject is feminine, and it's in the second person here. So it's a cow stem, perfect conjugation, second feminine singular from chatat. Um, okay. Rabot is an attributive adjective, agrees with chataot in gender number here, and indefiniteness here. So that's all we have on that one right there. Number 9, we have nasati et ha'avanim ha'ele. Nasati, nasati et ha'avanim ha'ele. The tav and the hirikyot is telling us this is first common singular. So we would translate this: I lifted up or I raised up these stones. So this nasati is cow, perfect, first common singular from nasa. This is a third olive verb here. And so this is a weak verb. And means to lift or raise up. And then ha-evanim are stones, these stones. But we have a demonstrative adjective coming after ha-ele. So this is these stones. Agrees with the noun in gender, number, and definiteness. All right, number 10 we have, let's go ahead and go on 10 here. We have Asita Chesed Imanu. Asita Chesed Imanu Ve'et Amei Ha'aretz. You did kindness or covenant faithfulness with us and with the nations of the land, or the peoples of the land. Is how you could translate that. So asita is again, this is a double week. This has a first ayin and a third hay. Remember, this hirik yod is very key to telling you that is a third hay. That's what you see in the third hay verbs here. Is the hirik yod. Once it leaves the third feminine singular and goes into the second singulars and second plurals, you'll see this hirik yod in there. So basically that's what you have here. And the tav and the comments tells you it's a second masculine singular. You did covenant faithfulness, and mainly to show loving kindness is through an action, by doing something in there. And we can go into that. And then imanu is a preposition with, and then nu is us, first common plural, with us. And et here is not a direct object marker. It is the preposition with, also. With the peoples of the land, or with the nations of the land. Ame is masculine plural construct noun from am, or amim. And so that's why that is construct with ha'eretz here. Number 11 we have here is ra'atha selam gadol. Okay, the tav here is telling us this is a third hay verb, because once it leaves the third masculine singular and goes to the third feminine singular, the hay drops off, the tav takes its place. The comments hay ending tells us that is a third feminine singular. From ra'ah to see, so we would translate this as she saw a great image. Selam gadol on here. So ra'atha is basically a cow stem, perfect, third feminine singular from ra'ah, to see. Number 12, karata brit im amin. Karata brit im amim. And so we have here number 12, you cut a covenant with my people. Karata is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, second masculine singular from karat. Notice you have the doubling of the gesh in this tav is not a dagesh lene as it normally is in a strong verb, but it is also it is a dogish forte because karat ends with a tav and the subformative the second masculine singular subformative begins with a tav, so it's actually two tavs in one right here. Okay, and then we have my people. Um, Basically, a lot of times you see how eam, the ayin mem, and the ayin mem here are identical in letters, but they are totally different parts of speech. The hirik under the ayin tells you that it is a preposition, eam, with, and then the patak on the ayin here tells you that it is a noun for nation. And this hirik yod here tells you that it is um, the first common singular pronominal suffix um, attached to a noun here. My people. Number 13 is Hayatha, Haisha, Yafat, To'ah, Vifat, Mar'eh. She was, the woman was beautiful in form and beautiful in appearance, or beautiful of appearance. Beautiful of form and beautiful of appearance. These are two constructs. Yafat's construct of Yafa, Yafeh, and same thing here. Yafat is a construct here with Mar'eh. So Hayatha this is a to be verb here from Haya. It's a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third feminine singular from Haya. Remember, and when it leaves third masculine singular goes third feminine, the hay drops out. This is a third hay verb. The hay drops out, the tav takes its place. Then you have the comments hay ending here, showing you the suffix. That gives you um, the what person it is and what gender and what number it is. Number 14, asitim. Asitim, chesed, itanu. Itanu. Okay, so basically we would say here number 14 is you did, or you showed, you could translate showed, but it's the action. You did covenant faithfulness or loving kindness with us. The hirik under the aleph shows you that this is the preposition with. It made, remember 8 and 8, there's two that look identical. One is a definite direct object marker, and one is a preposition. This is the preposition with, and then new tells us this first common plural, us. You showed loving kindness with us, or did loving kindness with us. Okay, so this is a third hay verb right here, asitim, calcium, perfect conjugation, second masculine plural from asa, third hay verb. Again, the hirik yod tells you that it is a third hay verb. And this is doubly weak. You got the first guttural for the ayin and the third hay. Number 15, Banu HaKohanim Mizbechot Ravot Al Hagib'ah. Hagib'ah here. Banu HaKohanim Mizbechot Rabot Al Hagiv'ah. Okay, we want to say here the subject is HaKohanim, the priest, built altars, many altars upon the hill. Giv'ah is hill, and so Banu, because we see it only has two consonants here, it can only possibly be two things, either a biconsonantal or a third hay. and we know basically the the accents on the last syllable here, so we know that it can't be a biconsonantal. It has to be a third hey, and this is a third common um, plural. So the priest built. Since priest is plural, and in perfect tense, the third common is but could be the male or female. But we know the priests are the one who did the action. They did the building. So this is banu is a cow stem perfect conjugation, third common plural from bana, to build. Rabot is an attributive adjective, agrees with mizbechot in gender, number, and indefiniteness. And al hagivah is a prepositional phrase with an object here. Bashana hahi kala hara'av. Bashana hahi kala hara'av. Okay, and in that year, the famine ceased. In that year, the famine ended or ceased. Okay, so kala is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular from kala. And this is the hara'av, must be masculine here, the famine. It ceased here. And bashana hahi, hahiv is an attributive, a demonstrative adjective here. So in that year, the famine ceased. It has to be he because shana is feminine. If shana would have been masculine, it would have been hahu. Like we have this like bayom hahu, in that day. But this is shana is feminine singular, so the demonstrative has to be he. Remember, the who is he and he is she, and this is he. This is feminine. So anyhow, remember how we learned the demonstrative adjectives or demonstrative pronouns the other day. Okay, let's go to number 17 here. Number 17 is Alu ha'anashim el ha'ir vera'u et son avihim. The men went up to the city, and they saw the flock of their father. Alu is, again, you have to think it's either a biconsonantal or either a third hey, and it's definitely a third hey because the accent is on the end over here. Remember the biconsonantals, which we'll get into next session, the accent's normally on the first syllable here in relationship to that, but we know that the hey drops off, and the shurik is telling us that it is third common plural. Men is the subject, alu is the verb, the direct object is city, and we have ra'u, same thing, third hey. Both of these are third hey verbs here. Cow stem, perfect conjugation, third common plural on both of these. And son winds up being a construct noun for flock, and it could be either because the Holm is telling us that it can be either construct or absolute. In this sense, since you got two nouns here side by side, the first one must be in construct with the second. This is the absolute noun, avihim, their father. Okay, great. And again, if you have any questions about the different ones, go back to those preceding chapters, study them back over. I don't expect you to have all this down pat all at once. And do join us for those breakout sessions too. Those are very important to attend because we'll answer any questions that you may have concerning this homework or any other questions of previous chapters that we've gone through. Number 18, Halachu Hagiborim El Makom Rachok. The men, or the strong men, or the warriors, you could say the warriors, went to a faraway place. Halahu is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third common plural, from halak, to go, or we would say went because it's in the perfect completed action. And the subject Giborim are the warriors or strong men. They, since this is plural, the subject's plural, then we know that it needs to be in third person, but the third person needs to be plural also. The verb agrees in gender and in number with the subject here of that. And makom is the place. Here, and rachok is an adjective, far away place. Rachok. Okay. And halahu is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third common plural from halak. And it's a weak verb because of the hay on the first. It's a first guttural here with the hay here in first position. Of course, you know that hagiborim is masculine plural because you have the hirek yod mem sufit endings here, or final mems here. So hopefully a lot of this stuff is starting to settle in for you by the time we got to this chapter here. We'll keep going over the stuff for you. Number 19 is Natan Hanavi Bercha Lamalka. Natan Hanavi Bercha Lamalka. Okay, the prophet gave a blessing to the queen. The prophet gave a blessing to the queen. Natan is cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular from Natan. Hanavi is the subject. Here it's masculine singular. Beracha is the direct object. That's what he gave. He gave the blessing. And the indirect object is with this preposition lamed and then malcha. To thee. We know it's to thee, not to a queen, because of the patak under the lamed and the doubling of the mem with the dagesh forte here. That tells us that's the direct object, definite article in here. The hay has dropped out, the lamed took its place. To the queen. Number 20, halacha hashifcha el hanaar he'ashir. Halacha hashifcha el hanaar he'ashir. The female slave, she went to the rich young lad or rich young man. Halacha is a cow stem, perfect tense, third feminine singular from halak. You see the comments hey ending tells you that is a third feminine singular. We know that hashifcha is the subject of the verb, and it has a comment say. It's feminine singular. That's why this has to be third feminine singular in the verb. Direct object is hanaar he'ashir. And then he'ashir is an attributive adjective, agrees with na'ar in gender, number, and indefinite. It's rich young man. All right, let's move further on down to and go through some more translations. We're going to be using these nouns like Abimelech and Avram and Hagar in here in this translations too. So let's go ahead and go on to number 1. Bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. God created the heavens and the earth. So bara is a cow stem, perfect tense, third masculine singular. Elohim is the subject of the verb here. And notice how Elohim is plural, but the subject is singular. Third masculine singular. So you'll have it all the time with Elohim. It's a composite unity here. 8 is the direct object marker. It's just showing the direct object of the verb here. God created Hashemayim, the heavens and the earth. Va'et. Va'et ha'aretz. Number 2, Eli, Eli, lama azavta oti. Eli, Eli, lama azavta oti. This would be, my God, lama, why have you abandoned? Azavta, you abandoned. Ot, me. Comes out of Psalms 22, 2. Of course, what they have written in the Gospels is actually Aramaic. This is the Hebrew out of Psalms. I think in the Aramaic it would be Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. But this is Eli, Eli, lama azavta oti. My God, why have you abandoned me? All right, we have the interrogative particle lama, and we have God El with a first person pronominal suffix. My God, Eli, Eli, lama, and then azavta is a cow stem perfect conjugation, second masculine singular from azav, to abandon or forsake. And then you have the direct object marker. We know that it is a direct object marker because it has a holum over the aleph and not a hierarch under the aleph. That's what tells us that this is a direct object marker versus a preposition with. And we have a pronominal suffix, first common singular pronominal suffix, me. Since this is a direct object marker, then this must have an object, which is a noun, me, in here. Okay, number 3 is Naga Adonai et Paro Negaim Gedolim Ve'et Beto al Devar Sarai Eshet Avram. Nagar Adonai et Paro Negaim Gedolim Ve'et Beto al Devar Sarai Eshet Avram. Let's see. Basically, here is the he's Lord Negaim, great signs, great tents, and his house concern the word of Sarah. So, alright, so what basically we have here, the subject is Adonai, the verb is Naga, troubled Pharaoh with great troubles, and his house concerning the word of Sarah, the wife of Abraham here. So this is third masculine, cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular from Naga. We got some here. Korbate is here is a construct now with the pronominal third masculine singular pronominal suffix. Devar is construct. Notice you got the shava up under the dalet here. That's a key ringer to show you that noun can construct. Plus, instead of having a comments here, you got a patak. So that's rule 1A and 1B in play here on this noun. Sarai, here is the proper name, and then Eshet is the feminine singular construct noun of Isha. Okay, let's go down here. Number 4. Number 4 is Amar Elohim El Noach Zot Ot Habrit Asher Natati Beni Uvein called Basar Asher al Haaretz. And this is in the 9th chapter of Genesis. And God said to Noah, this is Zot Ot HaBrit. This is the covenant, or this is the sign of the covenant, which I have placed between me and between all flesh which is upon the earth. So Adonai is the subject, Amar is the cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular from Amar. Zot is actually a what they call a demonstrative pronoun. This is, and we have to put the to be verb in ourselves. Ot, the sign, and sign. Ot is in construct with habrit, sign of the covenant. And then here's a relative pronoun here, which I have placed. Natati is cow stem, perfect tense, first common singular. The tav, the hirik, and the yod tell you that. Plus you got the dagesh forte, so it's showing you that there's the last consonant of the root and the first consonant of the suffix here. Beini, between me, bain, and then you have the pronominal suffix, first common singular pronominal suffix with this preposition, uvein, and between all flesh which is upon the earth. So, just play with it and use your grammar that you've understood so up to this point here. And it just takes a little time to sharpen it up for you in here. So natati is cow stem, perfect conjugation, first common singular here. Let me see here. Amar is your first guttural right here because you got the first olive here. All right, number 5 we have basically Lechacha Sarah Eshet Avram et Hagar Hamitzrit Shifchata Venatena Ota LeAvram Isha Lo Leisha. So we were going to say Sarah took a wife. Oh, Sarah, the wife of Abraham, took. And here's your direct object marker. So the subject is Sarah. Then it describes who Sarah is, the wife of Abraham. She took. You got the common say there. That's a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third feminine singular verb from lakak, to take or seize. Sarah, the wife of Abraham, took. Here's your direct object. Et Hagar, took Hagar, and Hamitzrit, the Egyptian, Sifchata, the Egyptian slave, and she gave her, again, Ota, this is a direct object marker with a third feminine singular pronominal suffix, gave her LeAvram, to Abram, as a Isha, as her man, as her for him, as her for him, and gave it for a wife, or her wife to him, or his wife. That's how we say it. Literally, it's his wife right here. Is how we say it. As a wife to him, for a wife right here. Isha. This has a mapikin, so this tells you this is third feminine singular for ish, for man. It's not literally her man to him for a wife is what it says. But we would say in English, gave her as a wife to him. So lachacha is, of course, I already went through that. That's a cow stem, perfect tense, third feminine singular verb from lakak. Natana, again, is a cow stem, third cow stem, perfect conjugation, third feminine singular from Natan. And then you got a bunch of pronominals here, third feminine singular pronominals on ota, and third masculine singular for lo, and isha. So that my peak and that hey is very important to recognize that this is not a feminine noun. This is actually a masculine noun with a third feminine singular pronominal suffix added to it, just like this is. This is a feminine noun with a third feminine singular pronominal suffix. Her slave, her Egyptian slave. So it's very important to look at those dageshes in those hays. They're not actually dageshes. They're little dots. They're called my peaks. And those my peaks are a part to tell you that that is a third feminine singular. This comments with a hey with my peak tells you that that is third feminine singular pronominal suffix on a noun. Her whatever. Her man, her slave, whatever. Her servant. All right, let's go to number 6 here. Ve'nachash haya arum mikol hayat hasadeh asher asa Adonai Elohim. All right, this is number 6 here. And now the serpent was more subtle than any of the living things in the field, which the Lord God had made. So, Haya is cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular. The subject is Nachash, serpent. Very interesting on the word Nachash. It doesn't just mean serpent, but it also means to devaneer or basically a muttering or whispering of divination. So a falsehood. So it's very interesting when you do that study of Nachash for serpent. Arum is more subtle, more crafty, and also the root familiar means naked. Also, there's a play on the word Arum in the 3rd chapter of Genesis, which is very interesting. But this is, you have the men here attached to this particle of kol, of all, or any and every. Whenever you have an adjective here preceding, and then you have men attached to kol here, that is what they call superlative use of the word men, the preposition men. So the snake, now the snake was more craftier, or was the most craftiest, or the most subtle of all the living creatures of the field. Chayat this is a feminine singular construct noun with hasadeh in here. So, which Elohim had made. Asa is third cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular. Adonai Elohim is the subject of the verb here from asa, to do or make. All right, number 7 here. Bara Elohim et ha'adam besalmo beselem Elohim bara oto zakar unecheva bara otam. Elohim, and God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him. Male, zakar, and female, he created them. Okay. Bara is masculine, is cow stem. Perfect conjugation, third masculine singular, from bara, to create. Elohim is the subject of bara. Direct object is ha'adam. And then in his image, Selim. This is image, which Selim is the second noun. Remember, the vocalization for a second noun is once it goes from in the construct with the pronominal suffix, you have that patak under the first syllable, first consonant, and then non-vocal shava, and then your pronominal suffix. Besal Mo. In his image, Beselem Elohim, in the image of God, he created them, both male, Zakar, and female, he created them. So, Ot, again, the holum here shows direct object marker here. Oto is direct object marker with a pronominal suffix, and a pronominal suffix with this direct object marker, them. It's his third masculine plural pronominal suffix, the comments in the mem suffix. The holum here is a third masculine single pronominal suffix. So it's very important as we're going through here that you master your suffixes, your pronominal suffixes, because in Hebrew you have a ton of them, just like you have construct nouns. You have a lot of them in here. So anyhow, let's go back up here. Went a little bit too far here. And, well, okay, here we go. Number 8. Ata yadati ki gadol Adonai mikol ha-Elohim. And now I know that Adonai is greater than all the gods. Again, we have the superlative is the greatest of all the gods. We have a superlative use of men with the and with an adjective here, gadol. And yadati is calcium, perfect conjugation, first common singular. You see the tav, the hirk, and the yod. That tells you that's first common singular. Then all the gods. All right. Let me see here. Because the key thing to understand a superlative is look for the adjective, and you gotta have a noun, then have the adjective. It usually comes before, and then you have men attached to the word kol, or in this case, it's kal, mikal. And so to get that superlative understanding out of it. Number 9, Vayomer Avimelech lo yadati mi asa et hadavar hazeh. Vayomer Avimelech lo yadati mi asa et hadavar hazeh. And Avimelech said, I do not know who did this thing. Hadavar hazeh can mean this thing. Davar doesn't just mean word, but it can mean thing or matter. This matter. Vayomer, cow, imperfect, third masculine singular, vocal inverse. If you haven't gone into this yet, but that's what that is. Lo is the negative here, and here's the verb. Yadati, the T, the tav, the hirkio tells you it's first common singular. Calcium, perfect conjugation, first common singular from yada. Asa is basically calcium, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular from asa. Here it is the third hay. This is a doubly weak. You got the first guttural in ayin and the third hay here in asa. Hazeh is actually a demonstrative adjective agreeing with hadavar in gender, number, and definiteness. Me is actually the interrogative pronoun, or actually who. It's a relative pronoun. Who did this? I do not know who did this matter, this thing. So it's a relative pronoun, me. Me equals who. Okay, number 10. Vayomer hinena zakanti lo yadati yom moti. And he said, behold, Zakanti, I have aged, I've gotten older, and I do not know the day of my death. here. Of course, this is here you haven't gone into. This is a cow stem, imperfect, third masculine singular, both conversive. You haven't gotten that yet. Zakanti is perfect, is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, first common singular from zakan. Zakan to grow old. Yadati is a cow stem, a perfect conjugation, first common singular from yada to know, or um, and then you have yom, which is a masculine singular construct noun here, because it's got that whole and vav here, that historical long vowel. It can be both absolute and construct in a monosyllable noun here. And then the day of my death. And we would put the th the day because this is a noun here. Moti is a noun with a first common singular pronominal suffix. Remember, there are three ways that the definite article is understood: either through a proper noun, a proper name like Samuel or David, um, with the definite article on the absolute noun, and with a noun with a pronominal suffix on it that is in the absolute state. And that's how those definite articles go into or associated with um, the noun that's in the absolute state without it actually being there. Okay, let's go to number 11 here. Esa lakach et nashiv mivnot, or mibenot Canaan. Esau took his his wives from the daughters of Canaan. Lakach is a cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular verb from lakach. And of course, you got the nasiv here is nashim, comes from nashim in the construct with a third masculine singular pronominal suffix. And this comments yod tells you that's a type 2, so the noun is plural, his wives, and then from the daughters of Canaan. And this mibbenot is also in construct. Okay, let's go on down here to number 12. We got a few more left to go to. And before we finish up, Venuach Masachen Be'eni Adonai. Venuach Masachen Be'ene Adonai. And Noah found favor or grace in the eyes of Adonai, in the eyes of the Lord. Matzah is cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular. Noah is the subject of the verb here, matzah. Grace is the object of matzah, the direct object, and the be'enei is the preposition phrase, in the eyes of Adonai. So that's what we have here, and this is a weak verb because it's a third aleph verb right here. Remember, comments. Normally, the strong cow verbs are comments patak, but in the third haze and in the third alephs, they're comments in the third masculine singular. Number 13 is va'ani bechosecha batakti. Va'ani bechasdecha batachti. And I, it says basically ani here, it's agreeing with the verb here, and I myself have trusted in your faithfulness, or in your loving kindness, or in your covenant faithfulness. Covenant's faithfulness is in the middle, and you have the pronoun here, personal pronoun ani, and then you have the verb on the end. Very interesting word order there that David puts that in. Hopefully we can go into that a little later on in your advanced studies of biblical Hebrew here. Batakti is cow Stem, perfect tense, first common singular. Now the top, and the here code tells you that. That's first common singular. And you have chesed with a second masculine singular pronominal suffix on here with a preposition. So, in your or by your covenant faithfulness, I have trusted in there. So it's very interesting, the word order there. Number 14, Amar, Naval, Belivo, Belibo, Ein Elohim. Amar, Naval, Belibo, Ein Elohim. And a Naval, a foolish one, has said, Belibo, in his heart, Ain, there is no Elohim, there is no God. So a fool in his heart has said, there is no God. Amar is cow stem, perfect conjugation, third masculine singular from Amar. This is a first aleph, first guttural here in this verb here. Okay, and you have lave, a noun with a preposition and a third masculine singular pronominal suffix, in his heart. Okay, let's see if let's go to number 15 here, and that's what we'll go here. Number 15, our last but not least sentence here is Vaydaber Moshe lifnei Adonai lemor hein bnei Yisrael lo shameu elai. And Moses spoke before the Lord, saying, Behold, the sons of Israel did not listen or did not obey me or listen to me. So we have, of course, you haven't had this here. This is actually, if I wanted to parse this is basically a PL stem imperfect conjugation, third masculine singular, above conversive, fundavar, to speak. And of course, this is an infinitive here, but we won't go into that. We ain't gotten that yet. Shameu here is a cow stem, perfect tense, third common plural, from Shema. In here, so they did not obey me. And then Eli is actually, this is a direct object marker. The preposition el, two or four, and then the patak yod is a first person, first common singular pronominal suffix here, which is interesting because it's a type 2, so it means more than one on here. You would think it would be Hirik Yod, but it's Patak Yod. So it's assuming that there's more than one that they didn't listen to. They didn't honestly listen to Moses, but they didn't listen to the Lord. It's that collective, it's that plural collectiveness there. Okay, well, that's all for the lesson that we have here in the homework of 14 here, and we'll go ahead and go into the next session of 14b. Until then, look forward to seeing you later on. Shalom.